Are you wondering if zero down mortgages actually exist? In this episode, I answer that question. Welcome everyone to this episode of the AskJasonGelios show. I really appreciate you guys watching. I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor. You had a great question about whether or not zero down mortgages exist, and if they do, what are some of the great options? And by the way, on a side note, I have a great CNN article coming out probably a month from the recording of this video, so probably the end of February. Obviously follow me on it'sallabouttherealestate.com. But basically, I'm going to be sharing that probably the end of February. So, and that will also be about zero down mortgages and some of the most typical mortgages that first-time homebuyers actually look for, because most of the time, the majority of the time, first-time buyers are looking to get zero down mortgages. Okay. So before I answer this question, if you can go ahead and follow, subscribe, right? Follow me on social media. All the links are below in the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on future episodes, as well as in between videos that I like to upload. So, do zero down mortgages exist? And I can tell you, yes. But it might not be what you think. So, most of these zero to almost little money down mortgages are actually government backed. And so I'm going to share with you three of probably the most common. Okay. So first off, you have VA loans. Now, VA loans are geared towards military personnel, veterans, surviving spouses, and other eligible candidates that are tied to the military, like Coast Guard, things like that. Okay. Now, VA loans are 100% finance, meaning they don't require a down payment, but the majority will not qualify. Again, it's a specialized loan that is typically for those people that I just mentioned, but still a great option, great rate, and quite honestly, a great mortgage to help our military personnel and veterans and others that qualify to actually obtain home ownership. So it's a great loan. Next, you have what's called a USDA loan. And that is geared to help people shopping in the rural areas. And those rural areas are defined by the USDA depending on your area. So some areas qualify. It's mostly to help stimulate property sales and home ownership in rural areas. But again, doesn't qualify, doesn't apply to the majority, right? Not everybody wants a home in the country. Not everybody will want to live in the areas that qualify. But that's an option. It's not terribly popular. I had a couple clients go through it. I have one looking at it right now. It's still an option and something to look at when you're looking at purchasing in a rural area. So pretty good options there. Now here's my favorite, okay? And this particular loan requires 3.5% down, which is not too shabby, okay? So it's FHA loan. An FHA loan is awesome, especially for first-time buyers, although you don't have to be a first-time buyer to do this loan. But this is the majority pick for first-time buyers, and I'll tell you why. So I have some requirements here, and I think you'll find them pretty cool, actually, because you'll see why this really benefits first-time buyers the most. Now, FHA isn't so focused on credit scores. They do require a minimum of about 580, but you can still put down, like if you have at least a 580, you can actually put down about 3.5%. But when you get into the credit score, 500 and 579, then they will require you that you put down 10%. So not many mortgages do that, okay? And again, it's government backed, so that's why the lenders aren't so strict with this. Although FHA comes with some requirements as far as the home. We'll get into that. But I want to dive into this FHA more, okay? So 3.5% down if you have a credit score of 580 or higher, okay? Mortgage insurance is obviously required. That's on most loans, although the VA loan that I mentioned does not require mortgage insurance. So you have basically mortgage insurance on this FHA loan, which is okay. And many people don't like FHA because you have to pay upfront PMI, private mortgage insurance at closing. I don't think it's that big of a deal because, again, they're allowing you to only put down 3.5% to purchase a home, which is amazing. And that's something that we should be grateful for. So if you're using this type of loan. Now, it has to be the primary residence for the borrower. So that means that the borrower has to be living there. That's their main home, okay? Of course, you have to have steady income, proof of employment, things like that, okay? You have to have 2 minimum credit accounts, credit card, could be heating bill, which a lot of energy companies are now putting that on credit reports. Actually, they've been doing that for, I don't know, a year or 2, 3, something like that, okay? But you have to have at least 2, what they call trade lines, or 2 accounts showing on your credit line, or you can show something like you've been paying rent to a landlord, as long as that's documented by the landlord, and you know, you can prove that. But again, speak with the lender because things change all the time, okay? The loan limit for this particular loan, the FHA, is $356,000, 362 cents, okay? Again, that's $356,000, 362 cents. So there is a limit. I don't know many first-time home buyers that are going up to that range, but it's still good to know. So you have to have the down payment, right? Again, 3.5%, which can be a gift. So mom, dad, aunt, uncle, cousin, they can gift you. If you're the first-time buyer, you can get a gift for the down payment, as long as it's a gift and not, hey, we're gonna give you the money for this and then you have to repay us. No. And a lot of times lenders will ask you for we'll ask the buyer for the actual letter stating that you don't have to repay this, okay? One of the best perks about the FHA loan, now granted, think about this before I talk about the rate here, is most of the time your rate is a little bit higher if you're higher risk, but because all 3 of these loans are actually government backed, you get better benefits. Now, going back to the FHA loan here, what you're talking about is you can have, even if your credit score is lower, you can have an attractive mortgage rate on this type of loan, right? Because what happens is it's government backed. And so if you have that 580 score, you can still get a pretty good rate compared to if you were putting more money down, but you had a horrible score, you know, you would get hit on the interest rate. Your rate would be way higher. So this is a great option. So really a great question, you know, do 0 down mortgages exist? Yeah, they do. Now I do know of some lenders were offering regular 30-year fixed loans and 15-year fixed loans that were almost 0 down. But I don't think that those are, like, matter of fact, your regular conventional loans, they call them 30-year, 15-year, things like that. I believe there's a 40-year out there floating around. I don't recommend doing that. But they are getting tighter and as far as their guidelines. So you kind of want to avoid those. Unless you have an 800 score and you're putting 20% down, I would really try to go FHA, quite honestly. So hope this was valuable for you. Hope you saw the educational impact of this video. Again, I really appreciate the questions that I get asked. I get questions sent to me, and I get questions when I'm working with clients, and so that provides fuel for this show. So again, follow me on social media. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit that bell, and again, visit my website. It's allabouttherealestate.com. A pop-up comes up, and what it will allow you to do is actually put in your email and your name, and you can receive this show in an email with other valuable tips, homeowner tips, articles, things like that in your email once a week, so you don't miss out. So I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks everyone for watching this episode of the Ask Jason Gelios show. Be sure to visit the links in the description below to pick up your copy of my real estate book, Think Like a Realtor. It's a little book about buying and selling residential real estate through the eyes of a realtor. It's real world advice, tips, Whether you're a new agent in the business or you are a home buyer or even looking to sell a home, this is great advice. So I really appreciate it. If you guys visit those links, pick up your copy, and go ahead and share a review, good or bad, if you like it, if you hate it, okay? But get your copy today. Thank you.